Like many of you, I've been around bullies all of my life. I saw it on the schoolyard as a kid growing up. There were people that were just bullies. I've seen it in church. I've been in ministry off and on for most of my life in church leadership, and I've seen a lot of church bullies. And I've seen a lot of cultural bullies, political bullies. And let me tell you a few things that all bullies have in common. It's been my observation. These are things bullies do. Number one, not just they're right, there is no other option. You cannot have any other opinion than whatever the bully wants, whether it is a law, whether it is a certain way to do church, whether it's just his way on the playground. Bullies have one thing they want, and there's no other alternative. In fact, you're not even allowed to express another opinion. And if you watch bullies close enough, you'll notice after a while that bullies don't even try to defend their position. They don't try to explain their position. They don't try to persuade their position. They just say, this is it, and all they are interested in is getting their position to come out on top with no opposition. Bullies will eliminate anything that might go against the narrative that they want to enforce. So you'll have things on the school ground. You remember how we're on the school ground that only picked people that agreed with them to play on their team. You see it in church with certain people always get to stand up before the congregation. Other people never do. You see it in culture when people start banning books and tearing down statues and enforcing their view only. And then bullies always make it personal. Bullies don't ever talk really about the issues, but they demean people, they talk down to people, they shout people down. That's how it works with bullies. Now, when you're a kid in the playground, sometimes somebody stands up to a bully and they run. Most of my experience with church bullies, most Christians don't want to fight, so they simply leave where the church bully runs and rules and has charge of things. And eventually a church bully, the church is in worse shape after they take over. And cultural bullies, political bullies, well, you kind of see the results of that all over our culture right now. What happens with political bullies. And it's hard to stand up because it's a moving target sometimes. But what happens with cultural bullies, they may get their way, but eventually a group rises up and bullies them into submission and everything changes. You know, bullies are hard to deal with because bullies are typically mean. They're small people. It's a hard thing. But I'm going to tell you this about bullies. In the long run, bullies never win. Schoolyard bullies, people grow up. Church bullies, their church eventually shrinks down and other churches prosper away from them. And even culturally, over time, things change. So this is Steve Ridgell telling you, number one, don't be a bully. Be willing to defend your position, talk about your position, and be nice to people. Don't make it personal. And number two, if you are bullied, hang in there. If you're a Christian, I don't even call it bullying. It may be persecution, and you will be rewarded for it.